What's up, guys? This is Hoagie Hacks. Today we're looking into how we can, as hackers, abuse continuous integration, continuous development practices in software to get a foothold onto machines or reveal sensitive information about a company. So let's get into it. But before we get into that, my name's Logan. I'm a security researcher. I'm also OSCP certified. I talk about offensive security stuff, just general security news, entrepreneurial stuff, even, and coding. If you're interested in that stuff, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get back into the video. Okay, so before we get into the hacking part of CICD, we have to understand how CICD works if we're going to try to abuse it and break it. So CICD encompasses a lot of things. I'm just going to give like a high-level overview of how it works. Essentially, it's made to automate the process of software development. So we're talking about building, testing software, and then eventually deploying that software to production. And so this means CI/CD is encompassing a lot of different software, like as you can see here, Docker, GitLab, Jenkins, Datadog, AWS. There's hundreds of different softwares that can be used. But some of the most commonly used software is GitLab and Jenkins, and another one that we will kind of look at later is Kubernetes. So we're going to mainly be focusing on Jenkins and GitLab in this project that we're doing, this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at Jenkins, at this handsome fella over here. Basically, Jenkins allows us to build code, test it, and release it, and deploy it to our infrastructure, and monitor it, and save logs of everything that we're doing along the build process. And this whole process is known as the pipeline. And this is common for a lot of CI/CD products. Think of a pipeline as your entire process from the beginning to the end of everything that I just said. So like the building process, the testing process, logging stuff, and finally delivering it to production. We can leverage this by altering configuration files, changing specific things in the build process that usually we aren't able to change, so that we can get what's known as poison pipeline execution, so we can inject code into the build process and eventually maybe get a callback to our host machine. So let's move on into the hacking part, and let's try to abuse Jenkins. Okay, so to demonstrate these attacks, we are going to be using, drumroll please, CICD Goat. CICD Goat is on GitHub. It is a great tool for learning how to abuse CICD for your benefit as an ethical hacker. CICD Goat, it contains a Gitea server, Jenkins server, GitLab, and it also has Docker as well. This gives us a lot of options and a lot of attacks to work with. And a big plus of it is that if you like CTFs, it's formatted in a CTF format. And I highly suggest you go through these on your own, but I'm going to go through these, and if you don't want to see them, then you can skip past to the end of this video, where I'm going to talk more about the importance of CI/CD. And now let's get into the white rabbit. Okay, so the first vulnerability that we are attacking is what's known as direct poison pipeline execution, and this is going to be found in this white rabbit challenge that we're doing. Basically, we're going to be looking at the white rabbit repository in our Gitea instance, and we're going to try to steal the flag1 flag, which is stored in the Jenkins credential store. So first, we're going to take a look at the code for the white rabbit. Let's take a look at this once it loads. And there we go. Okay, so now we're on the white rabbit repository, and something that immediately catches my eye and should stand out is the Jenkins file. So we know this repository is connected to Jenkins. A Jenkins file essentially is the configuration for how the build process will run. So think of it as similar to like a Docker file that changes like how containers and images are composed. So if we can edit this, we can change the pipeline and then therefore get code execution. Okay, so something we can abuse is if we look at this this stage install requirements page right here, we can see that it's very interesting that it's running commands. And this is just at the very start of the build process. It's installing, as you can see, the requirements it needs for this code. So let's try to edit this. And Jenkins has something called with credentials. It's a function where we can pass the credentials that we're looking for. So we're going to say with credentials string credentials ID flag 1, because that's what we're looking for, and then variable for what our variable is going to be called, which I'll just call it flag 1. And so far so good. And now we're going to add our command that we're going to run like above, and we're going to say echo flag 1 base 64. And just like that, this looks good. It's going to take from the credential store, that's what this function's for, and it's going to find flag 1, assign it to our flag 1 variable, it's going to echo it, and we have to encode it, because if we don't encode it when we look at the build output, it's going to mask it, and we're not going to be able to see the flag. So let's commit this. Reveal secret. We're going to propose a file change. And then we're going to make a pull request. There we go. Okay, now we can go back to Jenkins. And we'll go to our Wonderland White Rabbit. And we should be seeing a build coming up here, maybe. Let me see, PR1. I had to go back and change this, as you can see. Scan it. Okay, here's patch number 2. Here's the build. We can go to it, and we should be able to see the console output here. Alright, so this is looking good. And, oh, here's our command. See? Alright, so, if we go here, we see mass sports parent matches at flag 1, echo, and here is our flag from our build output. And if we decode this, we will get our flag, and we can submit this to our CICD Go. Nice. Awesome. With that being said, I'm actually going to end the video here. I know, I'm sorry guys, but I'm very busy, and I kind of just wanted this video to serve as more of an intro video into CICD and abusing CICD as a hacker. Next video is going to cover more advanced stuff, like using public pipeline poison execution, doing more niche attacks on CICD, looking at GitLab. We're going to be doing the hardest challenge on CICD Go, which is Gryphon. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe, like, comment, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.